YouTube, welcome back to some more Higurashi. Last time, Hanyu is pregnant. That's crazy. Though it is kind of like the beginning of the doom. Of the end, not the doom. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened last time. Lots of meme stuff. Some good old classic Higurashi jokes. And even some Uminato jokes. You love to see it. Anyways, let's see what happens now. I want to see Ritu's reaction. Actually, does Ritu know? I don't know. Hanyu's having like a crisis over it, I think, actually, because she's scared to uh, get born with horns and stuff. But yeah, let's just get right into it. There was a fierce thunderstorm in the evening, just as I predicted. Rain endlessly echoed from the attic like a constant roar. After what happened, I sent Shino home, doing everything in my power to keep calm. I brought the unconscious Riku into the house and holed myself up in the ritual storehouse before I even knew what I was doing. It's already her home. Foreshadow? I mean, it's not really foreshadowing because you already know, but I guess it is kind of foreshadowing that that's her crib later. If I stayed in the house, I would have had to face Riku once he eventually woke up. Also, yeah, I don't know why. I guess I just didn't expect Riku and Hanyu to be, making love just from how they still seem like it felt like they still had the same relationship, like the same type of relationship when the chapter started with the whole Miko outfit fiasco. So I didn't know it developed that much, but I guess it does make sense since they've been together for 3 years total now. That would be painful right now, so I came here to essentially hide until I could at least get my thoughts and feelings sorted out. I huddled in a corner of the dark room as Shino's words kept replaying in my mind. You're pregnant. You're going to have a baby, Hanyu. A baby. Riku's baby and the baby of me. A horned Ryuin. So, if the baby happened to have horns just like me, I unconsciously looked up and noticed the statue of Oyasho-sama ahead of me, blanketed in darkness. Riku's father had had it. Had it. Shouldn't it just be Riku's father had it made? By the feudal lord's personal religious image maker back in the castle town. Oh yeah, I guess that's kind of weird. The statue of Oyasho-sama. I guess that's part of the guise, or maybe this is before Hanyu came into the picture. But I guess Riku's father would know. I don't know. After the tragedy, he modeled it off of me and turned it into a symbol of worship for the villagers, but it had no horns. I guess that made sense. Dude, life would have been so much easier for Hanyu. She probably wouldn't have died if they kept the horns on the Oyasho Samalore. Because it's been over 20 years since that happened. Maybe people like integrate the horn thing into it and it would be accepted and stuff and people would be chill with it. I know it's smarter to remove the horns because it makes one public perceptions won't be great, but it's a little sussy, obviously, but still, I don't know. Instead, it had the peaceful face brimming with affection like a mother. Also, I didn't notice the statue was female. I wonder if they say it's female in Higurashi because I was pretty sure it's male. Obviously, the CG. I guess it's kind of hard to tell, but I always thought they referenced Yashiro-sama as a man. On the other hand, I could just tell from looking at it how much of a taboo the humans of this land considered horned demons. How delightful it would be if I had the child. A single life Riku and I created was right in my belly. Even now, it was doing everything in its power to live and grow and was growing healthily. I wanted to have the baby, but there was no way I could.
もしこの子供の頭に私と同じ角が生えていたら
That's not funny. My heart writhed with fear just imagining it, and I felt like I was going to go crazy. Could I raise them to hide their horns just like me? No, out of the question. It would be too pitiful for that child to be forced to live that way when they'd done nothing wrong.
それに
I wasn't just worried about the villagers treating a child with horns coldly. No, this was something far more threatening and terrifying.
ピトゥスの私と人間が交わった子
Never seen before, or I guess maybe to develop the Griffies
そ
thing.
れはグリフィスと呼ぶべき存在になるのではない
Half-blooded Griffies. I guess obviously it doesn't work the same way because it's not integrating the soul in the same way. It's a completely new life. Nothing's like mixing with it. That's probably why the Furude family aren't Griffies. It's a different process. I didn't know, but it wasn't impossible. One who was assimilated with a Ryun who'd imperfectly possessed him was a Griffiths, yeah, but no one's possessing him. It's just a new life. Then, if a child born with the blood of a Putus and a human ever came to be, what would they tell them? I did the thing though, because that's like an imperfect fusion of souls is a Griffiths, but this is like a fusion of actual cells. Would they literally be a half-blooded Griffiths? Or would they be a subspecies or something completely different altogether? Imagine. They label them as the Nipas, and that's why Rika says it all the time. She's not. That's what her species is actually. Imagine, dude. And if they had the potential to lose their sense of reason and become demonified, demonified? Is that even a word? It has to be, because it sounds like a word, but wait, no, it doesn't sound like a word. Demonified. That is not a word. That's literally, oh my god. I knew it. It sounded so dumb. It's demonify. What's demonify? Demonify. Uh-uh. To demonize. To demonify. Okay, whatever, but is that crazy? They just made up a word? I'm not crazy, right? I don't. When you Google demonified, you don't get anything besides like book titles. I know I guess if demonify is a word, demonified is a word. Ah, I hate that word. Just use. Actually, I don't even know what you would do. Whatever. What a weird word. Sorry, I'm a little high. But that's a valid question mark, okay? The duty of a Putus was to kill demonified Griffies. I guess that's. I don't know. Well, what do you call that? Turning into a demon. I think I would use like demonification, which I guess is basically demonified. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm putting that on my list of words that I think are bad. Demonified. I hate it. I brought peace to the world by killing demons. Then, was that my duty? To kill? So if the child became demonified, I would have to kill them? Slay, eliminate, murder, kill, kill. Little Delanor moment. Delanor.
私がこの手で
Ronald. I stared at my hands. Fear unconsciously raced through me, as I could have sworn I saw those hands dyed red. Plop! A drop of water fell on my hand. The rain grew even fiercer, and the wind became a gale, striking the walls of the ritual storehouse over and over. Occasionally, the dark room would be illuminated by a blinding flash of lightning, followed by the sky-splitting boom of thunder. I'm scared. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Could I ever do something like that? I mean, this is perfectly valid, obviously. Like, I know we're kind of, I'm more lighthearted about it because, obviously the baby does not have horns. I imagine, actually. I guess we don't technically know. I assumed it didn't have horns. Obviously, Rika doesn't, so it loses it eventually through blood thinning. But, pretty sure this one won't have horns. But it is a terrifying thought, for sure. For her duty. Just considering the possibility made my body shiver all over, without an end in sight. Just then, Riku. Oh no, that dude's not popping. What are you afraid of? Kill him. What are you so scared of? You, a Jedha, terrified? Why is it that you, said to be the strongest Ryuin, tremble in horror so? Who's saying that? It was an auditory hallucination. What the heck? And yet it was a low and detestable voice I had heard somewhere before. It simply cursed and resented me as it echoed in my head, sneering at all my fear and pain. Isn't that what you've always done thus far? You've never questioned it once, right? You believed it was absolute. You believed it was your duty. So why do you waver? That it's a child! It's different. It's literally different. I know it's a demon, but it's a hard choice. Why do you hesitate? But even if I covered my ears, even if I covered my eyes, and no matter how I tried to seal off my consciousness, the voice spoke directly to me, offering me the sweet temptations. Hatefully, mockingly. You've killed us, your brethren, up until now. Oh my god, it's the Griffey's ghosts. The guilt. So many of us. So many comrades. Even though they were your comrades. I mean, they literally weren't. They're trying to kill her. Even though they were your brethren. You killed us. You killed, and kept killing with those hands. So just kill the baby with those hands. Kill it! Killed the child! Shut up, ghosts. This is the classic. The grudges and of the dead that you've killed is biting back. Shut up, 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 shut up. How am I wrong? What's the issue? You've killed many of your brethren up until now. One of them just happened to be your own child. See, this is why ghosts suck at arguing. You can't just say one of them happens to be your own child. That's all. It's not a big deal because that literally changes the whole dynamic. Like, God, bro. Up your game. You can't just try to act cool and hand wave that. That's literally a huge factor. That's why you see, like, in like the majority of horror movies when someone's something bad happens to a family's child, like possession or something, they don't go, oh fuck, it's possessed, we just gotta kill it. Sometimes people even would suggest to kill it, and they're like, no, it's my baby. It's obviously different. But if it was just a random demon, some random guy you don't know, they would probably be down to kill it. Maybe not all the time, but definitely more than not. Anyways, sorry, it's demon hour. So kill it. You get one of these Higurashi recordings once in every while. I think it adds some fun. It's just a child. You can just make another one. Kill the child. Kill it. Kill the damned creature. Kill. Kill. I was assaulted with a nausea that turned my stomach inside out the moment I screamed. What should I do? Just what am I supposed to do? I stood up, crestfallen. I dragged my feet over to the entrance and opened the door. I then left the ritual storehouse, going out into the rain. I lost track of how much time had passed after that. Obviously, Ritu's gonna save the day because she does have the baby. Spoiler. And if she didn't, Ritu would never have been. Not Ritu. Rita would never have been born. You would never hear Nippon in your life. Imagine. That's a sad world. I pushed my way through the trees and walked down the dark animal trails. My mind was such a mess that the thought of shifting into my astral form didn't even occur to me. My days so narrow I could barely see anything around me. My soaking body was all cut up and my bare feet were smeared with blood. I'd stopped feeling pain a little while back. I couldn't tell if the wet drops pouring down my forehead were rain, sweat, or even blood. Finally, I arrived at the swamp. Can you take an X-ray and see if it has horns? I don't know when horns would develop on a Ryuin. That or a Putus, I should say. That's right, Onidofuchi Swamp. I stood by the bank, drew my sword, and spoke to the charged crystal. Oh, it's still in the sword. It's not in the space thing. Yeah, I guess Ryuin was like observing that whole mental breakdown.
早速準備をしてくれ。今から同調を開始する。どうした？本当にそれでいいのですか？
What would happen if you like go into astral form of a baby? How does that work? Ryun ought sent her thoughts to me in a stiffer voice than normal. I immediately replied in the affirmative, then reached my hand out to the surface of the swamp as always. That's right, I was going to make it. So this child never existed? Oh shit. If I turned it into something that never existed to begin with, then there'd be no need to feel pain, worry, or fear. Well, there'd definitely be regret. Probably. So, knowing Hanyu for sure, I came here resolved that this was the best and only choice.
大竜イエアソムールジェダピティスより同胞たちの査察の任を受けこの地に下されたジェダの加盟を継ぎし者ライノス竜王オークとの交信を求める
The rebellion! However, even though I performed the usual synchronization chant, I couldn't enter Ryun Ott's inner workings in the swamp. It's still Ryun Ott actually saving the day. Thought Ritu was, but got a nice start here. Confused, I went through the process over and over again, but nothing changed. Realizing something was off, I caught out to the charged crystal again.
竜王区。できません、羽生。
Damn. Let's go. What did Ryu and Ott just say? Did she say she couldn't? But why? She's always faithfully obeyed my orders. No, she shouldn't even possess the ability to defy me to begin with. She's become human! Hanyu's always been hand-waving these signs, but it's been showing throughout this arc.
何か問題でもあるのか、竜王区。それは私のセリフでもあります。
Also, you're possessing... I thought, like, one of their goals were to, like, keep the Putus alive, so, like, having babies is a good thing. Though I guess this is, like, a first for the hybrid baby.
羽生、あなたの今回の判断には正直賛同することができません。子供を下ろすことの意味をあなたはよく理解していないように思われます。
Rihanna telling us.
それにその必要が
Telling her, I
ど
mean.
こにあるというのです？何を言うか。これまでにこの世界のグリフィスが起こした惨劇はお前もよく分かっているはずであろう。
Honestly, it's a 50-50, though. You don't know, it's gonna be a Griffey's. A being created from the imperfect fusion of a Ryun and a human soul. That was a Griffey's, yes. This isn't like a soul, though. It's not fusing. It's it at birth. They possessed a major risk of suddenly awakening their instincts and becoming violent. And if the cause of that was the abnormalities in their genes, then there was a great possibility that a child born of a human and a Ryuan would have the same affliction. There is a possibility. I won't say it's great. What do you mean abnormalities in their genes? That's not the soul at all, by the way. That's different. If that was the case, then it wasn't because of the souls at all, unless souls are connected with genes?
私と人間の子はグリフィスと同様に人間、そしてリューンの同胞にとって新たな脅威となるかもしれない。故にその災いの種をここで断つ。それのどこがおかしいのだ。いえ、羽生、あなたは嘘を言っています。
Can't lie to Ryunot, she knows everything.
ですから私はその命令を拒絶します。
She knows Hanyu doesn't really want to do this. I gasped when I heard Ryunot stubbornly deny me for the first time. What was going on? At the very least, I didn't give her the function to decide if I was lying, nor to defy me, so why? And what's more, at the very least, I had a hard time believing she would do something like guess my state of mind when we weren't even synchronized.
嘘だと。
Usada?
バカなことを言うな、竜王区。まさか思考回路に異常でもきたしたとでも言うのか。私は正常です。むしろあなたの方に違和感があるとあえて言わせていただきます。
Oh, you're getting fucking destroyed, Hanyu.
何？羽生、あなたは逃げています。
Yes.
母になることからではありません。他人の運命に責任を持つことから。
True. This is where her innate fear of fate. She hates trying to challenge it. Or, no, wait, that's not it. It's not challenging fate. Responsibility for another's fate. It's a little different. Accomplished different. Yes. Based. If you're avoiding it, you gotta do it the painful and gross way. Damn. That's rude. This is some bullshit. It's like I can't argue with you, so I'm just gonna insult your being. And she takes it on the cheek and strikes back. Oh my god, I love her. Didn't I have a theory of this? I don't remember. I had a weird theory with Ryunot. Imagine if that was feathering. I think that's what I said. I'm mad. I don't, why? I don't know.
あなたには最善の選択をしてもらいたいの
It
です
like gains like even after Hanyu disappears, it keeps like developing more and more human like feelings and eventually becomes a person. Like, because if Hanyu dies and she doesn't die, she's just chilling, right? Imagine.
貴様
Rage swelled within me as I unconsciously narrowed my eyes and glared at the crystal charge. I wasn't, but I wasn't enraged because Ryun Ott was wrong. If anything, it was the other way around. Because deep down I only wished that were the case. She knows she's owned, but she doesn't want to admit it. That's
羽生
me
冷静になってくだ
sometimes.
さい
Ooh, new song?
あなたは
Holy.
自らを不幸に追い込んでもそれで平気なのですか自分のため自分の大切な人のために生きることこそ最良の選択ではないのですかそんなことそんなこと
Those words rattled me to the very core. I already knew. Even I knew fully well. Besides, who would ever wish to be unhappy? I didn't need her to tell me what I considered to be true happiness. Even so, even so, I
それで
yo the
それで
oh
誰かの不幸を容
I'm
認
hyped for
す
the
るの
OST. It's so somber. It's always it's always good hearing a new song.
デューンとしての矜持を捨てて自ら最悪を広げる罪業に手を染めよというのか
In my uneducated opinion, I would say having the baby and having to kill it with your own hands if it loses the coin flip of if it's a Griffey's or not. It's better than killing it without taking the coin flip at all. Because you know she would regret it a lot. She would probably think back to it a lot.
ふざけるな
And you're still doing your duty if you do kill it as a Griffey's. I'm not saying she should, but if she decides to do it, it's still doing your duty.
そんなこと私にできるはずがないだろうなぜ不幸になると決めつけるのですか
Boom.
なぜ最悪を広げると
Boom.
その結果は現時点ではどうなるか
Yes.
全くわからないことのはずです
Keep clapping her.
あなたの予想はあなた自身
Yes.
が勝手に思い描いた幻想数多くある可能性の中のたった一つの多元的な未来の姿です
You know what? Ryun Ott's coming up there as favorite side character of the Tanto arc. She's directly competing with Tamako.
それに至る方法はどこにもない
Who would win in a death battle? Ryun Ott or Tamako?
それにとらわれる必要性も全くない故にあなたは間違ってい
But yeah,
ると
this
私は申し上げているのです
she's literally just saying what I'm saying. Though she's like yeah, because you know, it's a coin flip. It could happen, it could not. You don't need to know, so you shouldn't take the precaution. You know, sometimes it's good to take a precaution before you do like a coin flip thing. Um, but this definitely isn't one of the times, especially when there's so much to lose from for doing it.
ましてあなたのその選択が竜の不幸
True.
に逆らうものだと誰が決めましたか
Send those guys a freaking telegram.
それこそ勝手なあなたの思い込みでありあなたが自ら課した風と檻ですデューンが定めたものは突き詰めてみればただ一つ新たな故郷にて先住の人々と共存し新たな繁栄の歴史を築くこと
She got the sources,
それ
man.
のどこにあなたは反しているというのですか
You're literally following it.
やめろやめろやめろやめろやめろ
I couldn't help but feel irritated, so I shouted. I screamed, loud enough to drown out the roar of the rain.
この子は角を持って生まれてくるかもしれないのだ。それなのに私と同じ思いを味わわせるのか。私と同じように苦しみ悩み悲しんでリュウンでも人間でもない存在であることに是非を問わせるのか。そんなの
Hanyu's trying to
そんな
cook.
むごい仕打ちをお前は我が子にさせられると思ったか。
She just doesn't get the point that it's a 50-50.
羽生
It's a bad thing if it happens, for sure, but even then, would you rather her not be alive at all? I'm sure having a loving father and mother, and even Shino would be loving if they had horns, and possibly more people. It would definitely be a better, it would be a better upbringing than Hanyu at least, because Hanyu's parents died, right? Like pretty early on.
ずっとずっと私は味わってきたのだ。ただ角がある、それだけで迫害されることの辛さを。角があれば人間ではないのだ。
I mean, you're not, but
それを
I'm just, sorry.
決して同じ交わりにはいられないのだ。
That's why I chose to live as a Jedi. Yeah, that's right. Truth be told, I'm well aware of what I was seeking by continuing to be a Jedi. Since I couldn't live as a human, I wanted a place where I could belong as a Ryuin. That was why I took up the sword. That was why I tried to keep my heart balanced by being a transcendent being who protected humans. That was the true reason why I stubbornly refused to accept the Jedi name would lose all meaning within a few years thanks to the decrease in Putus, a vague entity that was neither human nor Ryuan. That was me. Why couldn't I be human? Why could I not carry out a life as a Ryuan? I lived up until today tormented by that doubt, that paradox. I'm sure I'd still be suffering from it now had I never met Riku. I could never let my own child face that exact same pain.
人間にもなれず、リュウンでもあれず、私はずっと寂しかった。
Yeah, it's a lot of projection too. But I really think it won't be the same
ど
childhood.
うしようもなく孤独だった。
'Cause she had no parents. I believe. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they died really early.
鬼と言われること、本当は辛かった。それにリクを、我が子を巻き込めと。冗談じゃない。私にそこまで蹴動
Also, you should definitely ask Riku. Obviously, he would want you to keep it, but it is a little unfair to him, for sure.
羽生
Humans are creatures that can only view things in a broad way. If they learn someone is a demon, then they'll consider those close to it demons as well. Riku was in a dangerous position just being with me. He may have been known as Oyashiro-sama's reincarnation, but what would happen if rumors spread that he'd married someone with horns? A demon. Wouldn't that be good, actually? Actually, I don't know. I mean, that kind of correlates with the lore, the Oyashiro-sama lore, where people got married to demons, but it's too early for that. I don't know. Even an adult like me had horns accidentally revealed to Shino once, so it went without saying the villagers would quickly find out if it was a child. What would become of the child of and Riku once that happened? I'm sure we'd completely lose our current peaceful way of life.
並大抵のことではないのだ。この世界で我々リュウンが人として生きることは、そんな覚悟を重荷を背負わせて子に辛い思いをさせると分かっていながらこの世に放り出すことなどできるわけがない。
あなたの子供があなたと同じように生きるとしてもですか？
何？
私はこれまで何度もあなたと同調してきたからこそわかります。あなたは今愛する る人の子供を宿したことに
Oh,
幸福を
shit.
感じている。なのに無理をしている。今の幸せよりもあるかもしれない不幸を懸念してそれを受け入れることを恐れている。
無理などしていない。無理など。
それが無理だというのです。
Oh my god. Literally. I fell into a sorrowful silence. She'd hit the nail on the head so well there was nothing I could say to that. Still, though, just why was Ryu not standing her ground so hard? And where in the world had she come to learn such assertion and consideration?
確かにあなたは辛い日々を送ってきたかもしれない。あなたの子供があなたにとっての陸のような存在に出会えるかも定かではない。しかし、たった一つだけあなたの時とは違うことがあります。それはあなたと陸、すべてを理解した両親がそばにいるということ。
That's right. Just as she says, this child can be born and raised under me and Riku's protection. God, I'm so good, bro. I knew that would become a sticking point to this conversation. It would be completely different. My parents were already dead before I was old enough to remember them. I didn't have anyone to teach me human principles or to mediate with them. In that sense, this child is far more blessed than I was. And I'm sure people as kind as Shino will help in the future as well. However, even so, I just couldn't accept that lying down. Just as Ryunot said, my child may live strong and be blessed with good friends and a spouse. But what would they do if that didn't come to pass? I mean, again, it's just the chance of life. Obviously, you can direct it with good decisions, but the same scenario she's talking about could happen to her child if she didn't have horns either. It's just the game of life, you know? You just gotta take that risk. I'm sure that's obviously I've never been pregnant because I am a man, but I'm sure like there are some mothers that probably thought about, oh, what if my especially like if they're in a poor family or something like that. I'm sure they've had these thoughts and stuff, but you you can think of all the possibilities you want. It's just and you can even direct some of them from happening or not happening for sure, but it's not there's just this inherent chance that comes with giving birth. You can't prevent every bad thing. You can't like perfectly send them down the right route, I think. There's always this chance of bad stuff happening to them. It's just part of giving birth. Part of being a mother. It is what it is. And you can support them as much as you can and try to stop that from happening. That's fine, but there will always be risk. If I were faced with such a hateful expression, if they resentfully cursed me right to my face, I seriously doubt I'd be able to stay sane. Call it cowardice, but even so, I still couldn't face that fear tormenting me, nor could I see any light at the end of the tunnel. So I resumed the chant to drive away her concerns.
ハイリュン、イアソムールジェダ。ジェダの仮面を継ぎし者として、ライノス、リューンオークとの交信を求める。
羽生、
さっさと開けろ。
No.
これはジェダとしての命令だ。
Ryunot didn't respond, nor did Anidofuchi's swamp change. Infuriated, I stepped into the swamp. I got on my knees, sunk my hand into the water, and recited the chant again. Just as I thought. No response.
開けてくれ、リューンオーク。お願い。お願いだから。
I'm begging you. I don't want to hurt anyone, and I'm scared of getting hurt myself. So please listen to me, Ryunout. I crouched down at the edge of the swamp, my hair dangling into the surface amidst the rain. What do I do? Just what am I supposed to do? Just then, here's the man. Good job, Ryunout. You stalled enough for the star. Even though Ryunout was popping off, we were synchronized. We both had like the same thought process, basically. But yeah, let's let Ritu finish her off. I heard a voice. It was a lovely voice, but also the voice I wanted to hear least right now. I looked behind me and saw Ritu was indeed there.
リク
Ritu frantically ran through the rain and into the swamp. I quickly tried to stand up when I saw that, but my body refused to listen to me and I quickly fell back down. Ritu rushed up to me, picked me up with a sad look on his face, and spoke. Did Shino tell him?
何をしているのですかあなたは。
離せリク私は
なぜ身を投げる必要があるのですか。
Oh, it's not. Okay. Oh, so yeah, he doesn't know about the the synchronization thing. So, foreshadowing? No, never mind. It doesn't actually work, because yeah, I know that doesn't actually happen. I instinctively turned around and looked at Ritu's face when I heard those unexpected words. Kill myself? His misinterpretation of the situation had me momentarily dumbfounded, but on the other hand, it cooled my head a little. Perhaps it was understandable for him to assume that when I was here in the swamp water all by myself. It's a weird sight.
違うのですか。
当たり前ですこの私があなたに黙って死ぬわけがないでしょう。
ではどうしてこんなところに来たのです。
それは
I suddenly looked away and hung my head when Ritu asked about that. I couldn't tell him. There's no way I could tell him. How could I possibly say I was trying to kill his child? Again, this is what's gonna happen. Lots of regret. Like, I don't know how you're gonna face Ritu for. You're gonna feel so guilty, especially if you don't tell Ritu about it. And Shino knows, so she might peep. After a brief pause, Ritu, who'd been looking at me the whole time, suddenly broke the silence. Oh, fuck. Never mind. He knows.
聞いたときは本当に嬉しかった。ですからあなたの口からそれを聞いて一緒に喜び合おうと思って待っていたのですが、どこを探してもあなたは見当たらなくて、それで心配になって。それにしてもあなたはどうしてこんなところに来たのですか。
それは
私の子を産むことが
Damn.
そんなに嫌でしたか。
そんなわけがない。
I instinctively raised my voice and looked up. Please, I mean, that's what it's gonna seem like, too. Please don't look at me like you're about to burst into tears. Hearing Shino tell me I was pregnant with Ritu's child was the happiest moment of my life. A child with Ritu, even though I thought I could never conceive. Of course I was happy. There's no way I could hate the idea.
ならばどうしてです。なぜ言ってくれなかったのですか。
この子には 私の血が入っているからです。
I shouted while resenting my existence. Ritu didn't seem surprised.
驚かないというのならリクも気づいているのですね。私とあなたの子ということは私の血を継いで角を持って生まれてくる可能性がある。
And once the village learned of the child's horns, just imagining it made me shiver. There's no way they'd ever approve.
だから私はこの子を下ろそうと決めました。私が鬼が淵沼に来たのはそのためです。この沼は竜雲オークと私が同調する場所。この中ならばこの世界では困難なことも可能となる。だからこの子を。
I can kill our child before it's born. But I couldn't say that any of that, least of all look Ritu in the eyes. I knew that no matter what I told him, Ritu would not consent. He was too kind, too caring, too accepting, too true to his heart. And he was the one who loved me with all he had. That was Riku Furude, the one I loved more than anyone. But even so, no, because of that, I couldn't waver on my decision. If I truly cared about the child and Ritu, then I couldn't back down on this.
この子は生まれてきてもきっと幸せにはなれない。そしてあなたもせずに済むはずの苦労を背負うことなく悲しみに苛まれることもなくなる。だから私が。
羽生、それは私の存在も否定するということですか？あなたが救ってくれたからこそ私はここにいる。父からはそう伝え聞いております。
My mind flashed back to a scene from 22 years ago. The demonified Griffies, the attacked village, the maelstrom of pandemonium and fire. I swung my sword amidst all of that, cutting down the demons. This was the former Onidafuchi village. Just what was it I did back then? What did I feel when I found that small baby in the wreckage of that house about to collapse? Oh, she did say that. I forgot about that. And then she stopped and saved it. Damn. And then, what was it I did to that baby? The answer was the man right in front of me who'd made me so happy. Yo, he's a living example of Hanyu's like correct decision. It's actually sick. I didn't even think of that. That's crazy. How you should always take the chance. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but yeah, in this situation, you should definitely take the chance. Just then, Ritu gently took my hand into his own and boom. Ritu said that to me as a powerful light clearly shone in his gaze.
私はあなたに余計な重荷を。
私の妻になってくれるというのは嘘だったのですか？
そんなことは。
だったら私のことも信用してください。あなたのことを本気で愛して、あなたの幸せのためなら全てを受け入れる覚悟はあるつもりです。
My rock-solid determination crumbled, and the ice closing off my heart slowly melted. That wasn't fair. If he tells me that, I feel like I'm going to take him up on that kindness.
私が出生の秘密を聞かされたのは10の頃でした。その時は私もあなたと同じようなことを言いました。自分はフルでの人間ではないと。しかし父は笑って答えてくれました。お前はフルで陸だ。たとえ血を継いでおらずとも間違いなく私の息子だと。その時父の本当の子供ではないことに苦しんでいた私は救われたのです。だから今度はあなたを救いたい。
I felt a gentle sensation after he said that. Riku embraced my soaking wet body. His arms and chest were unbelievably warm and full of love.
羽生、あなたは優しい人だ。だから誰も傷つけないようにと子供を下ろすことに決めたのでしょうが、そんなことしなくてもいいのです。もうあなた一人が傷つく必要はない。私は何があろうともあなたとあなたの子供を守ります。その子は生まれていい命なんです。
Riku said that and smiled. He was the life I'd saved 22 years ago, even though I tried to kill him to spare him suffering. And that very same man just told me that our child was a life who deserved to be born. I was happy. My heart was overjoyed. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't want to put the child through a painful life. Nor did I want to cause trouble for Riku. And I was scared of getting hurt myself. But I wanted to have the child. Even though I was determined to abort the child in order to resolve everything. Deep down, no matter what anyone told me, I loved the child and I wanted to have it.
私があなたたちを守ります。どんなことをしても、どんな思いに耐え抜いてでも、愛するあなたたちの隣にいます。だから、その子を。
I cried in Riku's chest. I wept like a child, completely at a loss for words. I forgot that I was a Ryu and that I had horns, all of it. All I felt was the joy that I'd be having the child of the man I loved, and the warmth of those arms embracing me. Man, what a chapter. Also, see, I'm smart. Good thing I only did a 30-minute episode last time. That would have been a long video. But man, this was intense. The great abortion. Honestly, it's the abortion debate. Or what is it? I mean, it's not the abortion debate on whether people should be legally allowed to have an abortion. It's more like a personal abortion debate, whether thou shall abort or not. Anyways, it was pretty fun. But yeah, I understand where Hani was coming from, for sure. But whether she has horns or not, I think a lesson is there's always risks in having birth, not just like medical risks, obviously, but like you never know what path your child's gonna walk down. And you know, it might be great, it might be not so great, but it's just an inherent risk of birthing a child and becoming a mother. And if you really want to become a mother and you're scared of what might happen to your child in the future, which again, the question could be hard, obviously, and you know, it's obviously up to the person in the end. But it's just a risk you have to take because it's always there. It's just part of life, and I don't think, at least if you're thinking about birth in that lens, you shouldn't deprive yourself of that just because of the fear of what could happen to your child in the future and stuff like that. I get it, but you should not fear. In my opinion, I'm just a dude. I'm just spitballing. But yeah, anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Higurashi. I loved it. And I will see you next time on some more. As we'll see Shino put her lips in a small dish and tilt it. Yeah, until then, bye.